Martinez with Financial Education Services. I welcome you to the call to this webinar today, and I congratulate you for making the time to get on, because that tells me that you want to know how this credit game is played. So I applaud you. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. So my friends, if you can please send me over a little chat that you can hear me, I would appreciate it. It's a beautiful day here in California. It's raining just a little bit. I love this kind of weather. So it's really, really nice, really nice. It's been kind of cool here, so it's great. I want to welcome my caller from Utah. It looks like we've got somebody from Maryland. Awesome, awesome. From Georgia. Great. Glad you could be on the call. Got several people from Los Angeles, from Texas, Colorado. Wonderful. So I welcome you to the call. So let's get started. Well, my friends, as many of you know, the times that we're living in are very, very challenged. And the way that I became exposed to this company was back in the day when I was providing services for buyers and sellers through realtors, home warranties. I did that for about 18 years, and I could see the way the market was moving with regards to real estate, and I knew that people were going to need help with credit. When that explosion hit in 2007, 2008, many people were affected. They lost their homes, they were going to lose their jobs, and the company that I worked for 18 years decided to leave Southern California. And it was a perfect opportunity for me because I was exposed to this company, Financial Education Services, and I needed credit restoration back in the day. I had less than perfect credit. I didn't know how the credit game was played. And once I learned how the game was played, I just knew, there's other people that need to know this as well. So, that's my mission, to help educate and help people understand so that they can make better choices. I believe that one of the reasons why we had this terrible explosion back in 2007, 2008 in the real estate industry and in the economy overall is because people didn't understand how to use credit cards. They didn't understand that they really couldn't qualify for this home when they financed it 100%, and that interest rate was not going to stay at a really low rate. It was going to adjust. And many people maxed out their credit cards trying to live, trying to survive. So it was a tough time. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to educate and teach how the game is played. And at the end of the webinar, we're going to take some questions and answers. And let's get started. First of all, my name is Linda Martinez. Not sure if I said that. I'm with Financial Education Services. I'm a sales director. I've been with the company for over 7 years and very blessed to represent and be part of this great company that's purpose is to help educate the consumer. Today's economy, credit has now become more than just something that we need to buy a home or a car. Credit now impacts just about every area of our lives. Today's realities are, I'm sure many of you know people who've lost jobs. And it's really, really unfortunate, because if you have less than perfect credit and you go to apply for a job, that's one of the first things they do, is they're going to run your credit. And that could determine whether you're going to get the job or not. My daughter interviewed for a position with a credit union last year, and she was told after the 3rd interview that they were going to run her credit, and it needed to be at least a 750 or above because it was a financial institution. And if she had a foreclosure or a short sale or a bankruptcy, that she would not be able to participate as far as being hired. Well, thank goodness, she did have a great score. She is still working with that credit union, but that's just one situation that your credit can be a huge factor in whether you're going to get that position. It even affects promotions. Many people have lost their homes, and I know you probably know people who have, and it's unfortunate because there's nothing like having your own home, and in today's market with less than perfect credit, you can't get a loan. And the rents are extremely high right now in different areas. I know a friend of mine was applying for an apartment, a condominium, 3-bedroom, 1 3/4 bath, not huge, about 1,100 square feet, and the rent was $1,700. Well, when they pulled their credit was less than perfect, and their security deposit was going to be 3 times the amount of the rent of $1,700. A lot of people don't have that kind of money, but it can cost you quite a bit more if your credit is less than perfect. And if you could buy a home, your mortgage payment would probably be less than that renting per month, and you don't have the write-off when you rent. So many people have also lost their savings and investments. Senior citizens are having to work longer or having to supplement their income. What they had hoped that they could live off of, they're not able to. So they're having to work longer, and that's unfortunate. 58% of the population do not pay their credit card balances in full each month. The average U.S. credit card debt is over $17,000. And those with more than $20,000 in credit card debt are likely to miss payments and see interest rates skyrocket and credit scores plummet. It is huge of the impact of a late payment on a credit card. It can hurt you anywhere between 50 and 60 points. And if you have, say, for example, pristine credit and you happen to miss a mortgage payment, that can hurt your score up to 150 points. I've seen it. I know it. It happened to me. It's okay now, but it took me a few years to get it back up there. It was unfortunate because I had scheduled my payment online, and I thought I had hit the submit button, and I didn't. And when I saw that that payment hadn't cleared in a few weeks, I thought, what's going on? That should have cleared. Oh, my goodness. It hadn't even been processed. So that was an incredible challenge, but we did get it taken care of. I'm so grateful for United Credit. So today your credit score is like a vital sign. It's being monitored at all times. About 25% of the population has a 599 credit score or below. That's about 43 million people. And over the course of your lifetime, less than excellent credit could cost you anywhere from $200,000 up to $1 million in interest and additional fees. I know it doesn't seem like that could happen to you, but if you were to calculate everything that you have to pay more for because of your less than perfect credit, believe me, at the end of your lifetime, it could be well over $200,000 and up to $1 million. About 80% of all credit reports have errors on them, causing lower credit scores. And about 83 million people don't even know what their credit score is or what is currently on their credit report. And this is huge because so many times people don't realize that their identity has been stolen until they go and apply for a loan. And there are things that pop up on their credit file that aren't even theirs. Multiple credit cards. I've had people that have shared that information with me. A personal friend of mine had her identity stolen. It's amazing. So you have to be on top of it and see what is on your credit file. If you go to www.annualcreditreport.com, you can get your free credit report. I would suggest that you stagger getting your credit report because you're entitled to one report from each credit reporting agency, that's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, once a year. But if you get one every 4 months, then you'll have a good snapshot of your credit file for the entire year. I hope that makes sense. If you would like your credit score for free, you can go to www.creditkarma.com. You can pull your free credit score from that site, and it won't ding your FICO score. If you go to a lender or if you go to anywhere where they pull your credit, it's going to possibly ding your credit. So this is a free website where you can go and get it. They are connected to TransUnion. The only place to get a true FICO score is www.myfico.com. There is a fee associated with that, but it is your true FICO score. About 43% of employers use credit scores as a factor in determining who they will hire and sometimes promote. And I shared that story with you about my daughter. I know my son had applied for a position a few years back, and he had some medical collections on his credit report, and because of that, he was not hired. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. His credit is now much better. He is also a product of the credit restoration. How much we will pay in interest for mortgage, car, and credit cards and security deposits is affected by what our score is. It is huge. Some people, I have a friend of mine whose niece is having to rent a car right now because she cannot qualify to get a loan. She has less than perfect credit. And I calculated at $30 a day renting a car, that's like over $900 a month. So she's in the process of getting involved in credit restoration as well because, I mean, she should be paying, maybe $250, $300 a month to get a car. There are some car lots out there, car lot dealerships that, prey on the people that have less than perfect credit, and sometimes those interest rates are anywhere from 19 to 27%. So it costs you more having less than perfect credit. And how much our auto insurance premium will cost? In many different areas in the country, they run your credit before they will tell you what your premium is on your insurance, car insurance. It hasn't happened here yet in California, but I wouldn't be surprised if that will happen to us in the very, very near future. Because auto insurance companies believe that if you have a low FICO score, you're more likely to get in an accident. I know it's hard to believe, but that is their rationale. Less than perfect credit affects marriages. The finger pointing. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this situation. No, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this situation. And it is about being educated and working together to eliminate that situation. It affects, our self-esteem. People are very affected by that. And it can be extremely, extremely stressful because you want to do things and you can't. It affects your financial freedom of where you're going to go on vacation, where you're going to take the kids, what you want to do as far as going to maybe Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm. I mean, it's expensive. It's very, very expensive. And if you had that extra money that you're spending for having less than perfect credit on your family, it'd be a whole lot better. The way that it affects people's self-esteem, and I have seen it. I've seen how people feel ashamed. They're embarrassed. They feel powerless. They don't know that there's hope. And at times they become extremely overwhelmed and they just want to give up and say, forget about it. What can I do? But there is hope. There is hope, and that's what we want to share with people. So what can be done? And that's why I congratulate you again for being here, because it is about education, education, and more education. It's the key for consumers to begin the path back to recovery. Knowing how credit works and what your current credit situation is key to improving your credit. If you don't do anything about it, you're going to still stay in this situation. My mom used to say, if you fail to plan, then you're going to plan to fail. You have to put something in place. We believe that credit awareness is on the rise, and it's almost impossible to watch TV and not see an advertisement about credit, isn't it? I mean, think about it. We see Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax all promoting credit monitoring systems for a monthly fee. They're not going to do it for free. So I wanted to share with you some items that can have a great impact and stay on your credit file if you don't do anything about it. Now keep in mind there's no law that says that these items have to stay on that long. It's the credit reporting agencies that are private companies have determined that that's how long they're going to keep it on there for. So as quickly as it comes on, processing your credit restoration can get it off as quickly. But you have to do something about it. Collections, judgments, and liens. I share with people you need to be careful. You need to talk to me before you do anything. You know, don't be too quick to pay off an old collection. They may not be entitled to receive funds on it. They're a third-party debt collector, and there are laws that protect you against that as well. But they're there to intimidate and to make money. And I have horror stories about that, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into that on this webinar. Give me a call later and I can help you out. It also depends on where you're at. If you are in the process of closing an escrow, purchasing a home, and a collection pops up, and that lender tells you you need to pay it off, you need to share with the lender, you know, if I pay this off, it's going to ding my credit. You know, can we have escrow hold the funds and then we'll pay it at the close of escrow? Because what happens is when you pay that collection during escrow, it's going to bring that beast alive, and it is going to have an impact on your score and could drop your score anywhere up to 40 to 50 points because it's alive and it's active. So I've shared this with realtors, and they've shared with me the horror stories because they run their credit score. The lender runs it prior to closing to make sure that there's no surprises, and sure enough, there can be. So be careful. Judgments will reflect as satisfied when paid, and collections will reflect as paid when paid. Liens will reflect as released when paid. So let's talk about the credit reporting agencies. These privately held billion-dollar companies, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, many people think that they are connected to the government, that they're government agencies, they're bureaus, and it makes it sound, you know, the credit bureaus. They're not bureaus, they're private companies that are in the business to make money from you, off of lenders, off of creditors. They make money by your less than perfect credit. They are supposed to follow certain guidelines before putting that information on your credit file. They don't. They pay fines each year for failing to update credit files correctly. They don't make money correcting credit. They make money selling your credit file to big industries and companies. So remember that. They're private companies, and they all report differently. These credit reporting agencies started collecting information on us without our permission. Where we live, how many children we have, our Social Security, our date of birth, what different accounts we have, how we pay them. I didn't give them that information. They acquired it without my permission. And that's where we come to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. In 1971, Congress decided, well, you know what, credit reporting agencies, since you can collect this information, we've allowed you to collect this information, we're going to give the consumer the right to dispute anything that you put on their credit file. They can dispute it. And if you haven't followed the proper guidelines in placing that information on their credit file, they can dispute it, and you have 30 days to respond to their dispute. If you do not respond within 30 days to that dispute, then you have to remove it. That's what the law says. So there are the big three, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. However, there are thousands of little reporting agencies that are connected to the big three. So once it's fixed with one of the big three, it will roll on down and be repaired with everyone. So these are your rights, and it can be quite extensive. so this is just a little, short blurb about it. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives Americans the right to dispute or investigate any item on their credit report. It's our right to do that. Anything that's inaccurate, erroneous, obsolete, late payments, and it goes on and on and on, we can dispute anything. Even if it is ours, we can still dispute it because I want to make sure that they reported it correctly. Is it me or is it another Linda Martinez in another county? Because 80% of our credit reports have errors on them. I have juniors and seniors who have information that's reported incorrectly, and if you don't do anything about it, it's going to keep reporting. So it's up to us to dispute that information. Let's talk a little bit about FICO, FICO Facts. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Company, and it's a software program that measures whether a person is moving towards or away from bankruptcy. Scores that are damaged by the most recently reported derogatory information are reflected in this algorithm of the FICO software. Derogatory information reported prior to 2 years will impact your score somewhat. Not huge, but it will impact your score. And there are 88 negative rating factors and only 5 positive rating factors in this FICO algorithm. So these are the factors that we have control over, and it's huge. 35% of our score is determined by our payment history. And I share this story when I was young, very young, my husband and I, and we acquired our first home many years ago. I didn't know about credit. I just figured, well, you know what, if I make my payment to the lender, they should be happy with that. At least I made my payment. But you have to make it on time. That's the key, because they want to make sure that they're going to get their money back on time. So 35% of your score is factored by your payment history. Make them on time. 30% are the amounts owed. If you have a $1,000 credit card, don't spend over $300. I know that there's many people out there that have had to live off of their cards. It has a huge impact on your score. Huge. If you have credit cards that have small balances or are paid off, we've seen where the credit companies are closing those accounts for fear of risk. So you need to use them or you're going to lose them. But please be mindful. Credit cards are here as a convenience. They're used as a tool to enhance your score, as we're learning right now. But to max them out is not a good thing, because it will hurt your score. And I'll tell you another scenario. I've done a lot of little boo-boos, and that's how I can share with you what not to do. Do you remember getting those promos in the mail? 100%, no interest for 1 year, transfer all your balances over and everything will be great. Well, I did that many years ago. I remember getting this one credit card, and I put 3 of my outstanding cards that I had. I transferred all the balances with no interest for a year and closed out those accounts. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Never, 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 never close out existing cards that you have, because they have become seasoned. There's history to them, especially if you have good history. And you want to keep them. They're a tool, a method of building your score. So I closed out 3 of my cards. I opened up a new credit card, and that hurt me too. So here I've got 30%, 15%, 10% of my score that was damaged and dinged because I didn't do the right thing. I didn't know. So don't make that mistake. I'm good now. I know a little bit better. Okay, 10% types and numbers of credit cards to use. I recommend 3 cards. Use them to build your score. Don't max them out. Don't go over 30%. Be careful, but use them to help your score. With a higher FICO score, these are the advantages that you have. You can obtain loans faster, Credit decisions are fair. Older credit problems count for less. They're great for bankruptcies. And more available credit. Credit rates are lower overall, and with an understanding of the system, a person can improve his or her credit rating from a D to an A credit rating. And this is where United Credit Education Services comes into play. This company, we are a 10-year company with an A+ rating with a money-back satisfaction guarantee. When a customer enrolls with us, our customer service gets in touch with them immediately. They need a verification of address and their social. We prepare their credit file. We download it, and then we prepare letters for them. They'll receive those letters within a week or so, and within 24 hours, they're going to have their own website that they can track and see what their FICO score is. So they're going to get their letters. They're going to sign their letters, and they're going to mail them out to the credit reporting agencies. And all of this is, sent to them with instructions of what they need to do. They can also call the individual that is helping them with their credit restoration. It could be me or somebody that's on the line that is an FES agent that can help them. You can see your FICO score the day that your credit file is pulled. That score doesn't change. It remains the same. It's a barometer for where you got started. And then you can also see, if you have poor credit, fair, good, and very good, and where you're at. We have customer service 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can talk to live people. We have credit experts inside our customer service that are there waiting to hear from us, the consumer, to help us and get our credit restored. They'll also be able to track to see what items are going to be processed for them, going to be disputed. As you can see here over to the right where the summary is, you'll see this individual started with 10 original accounts, and during the credit process, 2 more derogatory items popped up. We're not going to say, hey, wait, we can't do this anymore. You have to pay for 2 more. It's automatically included in this individual's credit restoration. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So my friends, we have a 10-year track record. We have an A+ rating with a Better Business Bureau. We've served over 150,000 clients and removed over 600,000 derogatory items from people's credit reports. We've removed over 60,000 public records, and we offer a satisfaction money-back guarantee. I wanted you to see some of the results. This was as of the 23rd that I pulled this. It's more today. Our success rate as of the 23rd was 630,000 derogatory items that we have removed in the categories of late payments, collections, public records, and personal info. So my friends, does it work? Absolutely. And the results speak for themselves. So you're probably wondering, how much does this cost? And I'm not sure how familiar you are with our industry, but there are individuals and other companies that charge fees, believe it or not, in excess of $5,000 for a far inferior service. I have a personal friend who paid $2,000, and the company took his $2,000 and never to be heard from again. I have many individuals who come to me, agents who've paid $1,500 for different clients, and the companies have disappeared. So it's very, very important to make sure to do your due diligence before you get involved with any credit restoration company. They'll drag out the process for years. It ends up costing thousands of dollars, and that's not what our purpose is. We want to get the client in and out as soon as possible so that they can move forward with their financial life, freedom. We don't charge $4,000, $3,000. We don't even charge $1,000. Actually, it's half of that. And our service is only $4.99 for 1 year of service with unlimited derogatories disputed with a satisfaction money-back guarantee. So what would it be worth to have excellent credit? This is what I want people to understand. If they have a low credit score, they have a legal right to do something about it. The only reason I can think that someone would accept bad credit is they're unaware they can change it. Once they know they can and still don't, well, my friend, that's on them. Our company does 95% of the work. And last year, in 2012, approximately 19,000 people used our service. And 100% of them that followed our simple process had an increase in their credit score. It's inexpensive. We have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and comes with a money-back guarantee. And we produce fast results. So please don't view this as a sales pitch, but look at it as a solution for a very expensive problem. My friends, I'm going to leave this slide up. I said that I would take some questions and answers from anyone that would like to give me a question in the chat window. I'm going to leave it open for you if anyone has any questions. And it looks like everyone knows what they're doing. So my friends, with that, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a great day. I hope you learned something. We will be doing webinars consistently. I'll be posting them, and I will let you know when the next webinar is. Email, let me know if there's anything specific that you'd like to know about. I'd be happy to share that information with you. So my friends, you make it a great day, and remember, cash is king, but credit is everything. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.